Hello, and I'm gonna do a history thing. This is a video on the Vietnam War. The Vietnam War, also known as the Second Indochina War, was a conflict in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia from the 1st of November 1955 to the 4th Saigon on the 30th of April 1975. It was the second conflict of the Indochina Wars and was officially fought between North Vietnam and South Vietnam. North Vietnam was supported by the Soviet Union, China, and other communist allies. South Vietnam was supported by the United States and other communist allies. The war is widely considered to be a Cold War era proxy war. It lasted almost 20 years, with direct US involvement ending in 1973. The conflict also spilled over its neighboring states, exacerbating the Laotian Civil War and countries being communist states by 1975. Conflict emerged from the First Indochina War, became the French colonial government and left-wing revolutionary movement, the Viet Minh. After the French military withdrawal from Indochina in 1954, the US assumed financial and military support from the South Vietnamese state. The Viet Cong, VC, a South Vietnamese coming under the director of North Vietnam, initiated a guerrilla war with the South. North Vietnam also invaded Laos in 1958. It reported of insurgents establishing the Ho Chi Minh Trail supply to reinforce the Viet Cong. By 1963, the North Vietnamese have sent 40,000 soldiers to fight in the South. US involvement escalated under President John F. Kennedy. The wars were fought between North Vietnam, the Viet Cong, Pathet Lao, the Khmer Rouge, the Royal Government of the National Union of Cambodia, China, the USSR, North Korea, fighting the South Vietnamese, the United States, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, Laos, Cambodia, the First Kingdom of Cambodia, the Khmer Republic, Thailand, and the Philippines. In the Gulf of Tonkin incident, which is the photo on the right, the central right, you can see that photo. A US destroyer clashed with a North Vietnamese fast attack craft. In response, the US Congress passed the Gulf of Tonkin resolution and gave President Lyndon B. Johnson broad authority to increase the US military presence in Vietnam. Also known as the PAVN, also known as the North Vietnamese Army or NVA, engaged in more conventional warfare with the US, South Vietnamese forces, the Army of the Republic of Vietnam. Despite the little progress, the US continues to build up forces. The US and South Vietnam forces relied on air superiority and overwhelming firepower to conduct search and destroy operations. The Communist Tet Offensive from 1968 caused the US domestic support for the war to fade. The VC sustained heavy losses. By the end of the year, the VC insurgents held almost no territory in South Vietnam. The US bombed the Laotian route starting in 1964, and the Cambodian route in 1969. The deposing of the monarch Norom Siokid by the Cambodian National Assembly voted in the PAVN invasion of the country at the request of the Khmer Rouge, escalating the Cambodian Civil War and resulting in the US ARVN counter-invasion. Following the election of President Nixon, the policy of Vietnamization began, until the conflict fought by an expanded ARVN, with US forces sidelined and increasingly demoralized by domestic opposition. In 1970, the ARVN was the world's fourth largest army, and was not far behind approximately 1 million regular soldiers. The war escalated to an enormous human cost. Estimated the number of Vietnamese soldiers, civilians ranged from 966,000 to 3 million. The Sino-Soviet split, the split between the USSR and China, re-emerged the following of the lull during the Vietnam War. Conflict between North Vietnam and its Cambodian allies and the royal government of the National Union of Cambodia and the newly formed Democratic Cambodia began almost immediately a series of border raids by the Khmer Rouge, eventually escalating into the Cambodian-Vietnamese War. Chinese forces directly invaded Vietnam in the Sino-Vietnamese War, with subsequent border conflict lasting until 1991, unified Vietnam for insurgencies in all three countries. In early 1972, support was limited to air support, artillery support, advisors, and material shipment. The ARVN, with US support, stopped the first and largest mechanized PAVN offensive during the Easter Offensive of 1972. The offensive failed to subdue South Vietnam, but the ARVN itself failed to recapture all lost territory, leaving the military situation difficult. The Paris Peace Accord of January 1973 saw all US forces withdrawn. The Case Church Amendment passed by the US Congress officially ended direct US military involvement. The peace accords were broken almost immediately, and fighting continued for 2 more years. Phnom Penh fell to the Khmer Rouge, but the 1975 Spring Offensive saw the fall of Saigon, and the country was unified by the PAVN. On the 30th of April, this marked the end of the war, and the North and South Vietnamese reunified the following year. Please like and subscribe. If you want me to do a video, a series of videos in more just doing it that I can explain more, or please put a comment in the description on what I should do next.